Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we are diving into the component that has been the powerhouse of my PC build for about 1 year now, the Ryzen 7 7800 X3D. In this video you will see performance benchmarks, pros, cons and more. To give you context of the performance we're about to see, here are my full system specs. The Ryzen 7 7800 X3D, which is cooled by the ID Cooling FrostFlow X 240mm AIO, paired with an RX 7900 XTX running on the Asus TUF Gaming B650 Plus Wi-Fi, alongside 2 sticks of G-Strix Flare X5 16GB at 6000 MHz. Now everything is installed on the Samsung 980 Pro 2TB NVMe SSD and is powered reliably by Corsair RM850X 850 watts 80 plus gold, and it all sits in the MSI MPG Gungnir 110R. And this is how it performs in the newest game at play, Battlefield 6 1080p lowest settings. As we can see, while the CPU is the most stressed in this benchmark at 1080p lowest settings in my system, we can see figures of over 200 FPS most of the time, with around 131% lows and around 100.1% lows. And if you can see the frame times, which, keep in mind, I am recording at the same time, we are doing really amazing on the CPU. And now let's see 4K max settings, how the CPU handles it. But keep in mind, now it's GPU bound, so my graphics card is gonna be dragging down the CPU, which is not made to play the game at these settings with a good consistent frame rate. 4K max we can see an average of 150 FPS for around 140 something FPS, with a 1% low of the high 40s and a 0.1% low of the low 40s, which is not bad but not good for an FPS style game. And you can check the frame graph. We have massive spikes, which are not really good, will make it feel more sluggish. But keep in mind, I am recording, so normally they would be a bit lower, but I would not recommend this. This is how the processor is dealing when it's relaxed, and it's only GPU bound. And here is how I like to play the game. These are my personal settings. I know most people will hate when they see frame generation, but I enjoy them. I think it's a mix of quality and performance, and I really just play this game in my free time. So this preset is no problem for me as a casual. You can see with my personal settings, it's keeping them both engaged, and I'm getting an average of 144 FPS with a 1% low, or 144 FPS as well. 0.1% lows do drop under 100 from time to time, but most of the time they stay above 100, which I feel for myself are stable, and I do enjoy it, so doesn't bother me at all. Frame times are looking good, but they would be much better if you would not be recording like I do. Now, these are my Cinebench scores for the single core and multi-core. You could expect a little bit more or a little bit less depending on the CPU you're getting. Some of them do get more, but this is how mine performed. With this CPU, when gaming, you should expect around 55 to 75 watts power draw and a 60 to 75 degrees temperature, but you can also get a maximum of 80 to 95 watts power draw with 89 degrees Celsius for the temperature. And I played games like Spider-Man 2, as you saw, Battlefield 6, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 4, and many more games that are demanding more on the GPU. This CPU will keep you up, so you shouldn't have any CPU bottlenecks happening in your system. If you play games like CSGO or League of Legends like I do, you should have no problems crushing those games with over 300 FPS, with no drops and dips. Even on max settings or low settings, should be more than playable. And if you're playing high intensity games like Hearts of Iron 4, which I do from time to time, it's never gonna drop so low that the game is unplayable. For me, around 1945, if there's everything happening on the screen, lots of action, lots of troops, there the CPU will struggle a little bit with all the calculations, but will not let me down and will keep going until about 1950, no problem. Now for the pros, it has exceptional gaming performance with its 3D V-cache, which keeps it on top. Any CPU bottleneck, also draws very little power and runs very cool, and it allows you a good upgrade path in the future on the AM5 platform, but I wouldn't recommend upgrading the CPU until 2 more generations since it's that good and it still keeps going. Even with this generation that came out, it barely gets a little bit outperformed. Now for the cons, it is still an expensive platform. The AM5 platform is still pretty new, so expect high RAM prices, and the CPU prices are still high. Also, this is not a productivity focused CPU. If you need a CPU for productivity, I suggest you going for the 9000 series. Even this generation or the next generation should yield you better results. So this was my review. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, share and comment. And if you like this Ryzen 7 7800X3D, you can grab it from my affiliate link down in the description, or any other component from my system. Thank you very much and see you in the next review. Peace out.